Welcome to the Solid Signal podcast for the week of March 7th, 2022. And this is a little bit more of a hardcore podcast designed for the commercial installer. I hope that you're all enjoying this kind of series. And if not, leave a comment somewhere and I will try to change what I'm doing. Again, I'm always interested in what you guys want and providing it to you. So I'm talking this time around about television antennas in a commercial installation. And here's the thing. I really think that if you're out there doing commercial installations of DirecTV or Dish or something like that, you really should be also offering your customers the opportunity to use a TV antenna as well. There's a couple of reasons for it. Let's talk about it from, first of all, from an installation perspective. If you're a DirecTV installer, you should really be using the reverse band legacy dish, and you should be running 6 coax lines down all the way through from the roof. And I always say you should run a spare. You should run 7 lines if you possibly can. That's a lot of cable going through conduits. I get that. But the difference between 6 and 7 isn't that much, and you just kind of budget for it. All of the DirecTV stuff will let you run 7 lines. The amplifier and that sort of thing will let you run 7 lines through it. And having that 7th line gives you the opportunity to put up a TV antenna, and then if there is a problem with one of the other lines, you can very quickly swap those. And sometimes a line that won't be suitable for satellite will be suitable for TV antenna. And then bing, bang, boom, you're done. This gives you the opportunity to run that 7th line and possibly charge the customer for it. So everybody wins. Also, I really think that these days all commercial installs should have TV antennas attached to them. Why? Well, I think they always should have, and we kind of got out of that because now, if you look back on older commercial installs, you almost always saw TV antennas on the roof because that was kind of the only way that you got TV. And, you know, back then you really didn't have people who were paying for cable in commercial installations. And you know what? It wasn't always even available. So that's kind of another part of it. But I think that we got out of that because, you know, cable and satellite became a lot more common in these scenarios. And then the internet came and stuff like that. But here's the bottom line. TV antennas are super reliable. They're reliable when cable TV goes out, when internet goes out. You know, even if power goes out, they will work as long as you can connect them to something. You would just need to be able to power a TV, which you can do pretty easily with an uninterruptible power supply. Smaller ones don't suck up that much power. It's great for emergencies. It's great for local news. It's just there if you need it. And of course, an antenna is a one-time purchase that you don't really ever have to pay for later. And, you know, customers are going to like that. You just put it up there and you say it's there if you want it. And if you don't, well, you know, you didn't spend that much money putting it up. And that's kind of a key too. Now, it's a shame, of course, that you can't really integrate over-the-air content into a DirecTV installation. You can with Dish in most cases, but you can't with DirecTV, unfortunately. They used to have an adapter that let you do it, and they kind of stopped because of low demand. It's a shame, but oh well. It's also true that you really can't diplex over-the-air stuff through a single line on a DirecTV system. You can actually kind of do it if you're talking about just getting into the building. I wouldn't recommend it because it's going to create some problems compared to the signal strengths of your other lines, but it can be done. You can't really diplex, you can't really integrate it, so it's a little bit challenging, and most likely you would get the opportunity to run over-the-air antenna to one location, not necessarily all locations. That's something anyway. Of course, it'd be great if, they give you the opportunity to run over-the-air and satellite and internet to every location, and then well, it's a profit center for you, and the customer gets everything that they want as well. But people tend to ignore the opportunity of over-the-air television and commercial as an upgrade, as a cost center and a profit center for you. And that's a shame. It's a shame because, over-the-air television is a great way to get that kind of stuff to your customers. And it's also, if you're installing for a little bit older customer, it's a great way to show them, well, you can have these old movies on all day if you really want to. And these old TV shows, they're all G-rated, so you don't have to worry about what people see when they walk into your office. There's really no way to lose there. And also, it's a way that you can maybe please some of the employees without using some of that internet bandwidth. And people ask too, well, what if I don't have a satellite installation? What if I'm not doing that? What if I'm only doing, Ethernet or something like that? It's not impossible to put coax over an Ethernet kind of connection. It's not super doable, and it ends up probably being more expensive than you want to do it. So there, you're probably just going to want to tell people, okay, I'm going to put in coax cable throughout the building as well, and you might want to use it later. It's a great way to pre-wire for satellite. If you want to spend a little bit more, you can put in all that solid copper satellite rated RG6 cable. Or if the customer's having trouble making up their mind, then you can say, well, I'll do it with, copper clad steel RG6 cable. It's a lot less expensive, consumer rated stuff. And then if you don't use it, you haven't put in a lot of cost there. It's not a big deal. Just a bunch of things to think about. And it's all about the upsell. It's so hard for an installer and a contractor to actually get on site, to have the opportunity to do anything at all. And when you do, you have to have the opportunity out there to upsell. And that's one of the things that Solid Signal will help you do, of course, whether it is a cell phone signal booster, which every business should have, an over-the-air antenna like I'm talking about, satellite TV, security systems. You can get certified to do all of this stuff, and then you can get the parts you need from solidsignal.com. It's a one-stop shop for everything the installer is going to need. It's a great place to find that stuff. You probably already know that because you're listening to this podcast, but tell your friends. The average installer knows other installers, and make sure that they are as satisfied as you are with where they're getting their stuff, because chances are if they're not getting it at Solid Signal, they're probably not as happy as you are. Anyway, that's about it for the Solid Signal podcast this week. Next week, I will be back with more fun, more excitement, and more tips and tricks. You all have fun out there. Be safe, and I will talk to you again next week.